Hello and welcome to the July 31st, 2016 weekly web digest with Corrant. In this episode we'll have a look at the comedy Greg the Bunny, an article about photographs from Syria, a US Army interactive website, and a look at the Democratic and Republican conventions.
We can sing and dance and we don't need pants, see, we're just like you.
Greg the Bunny was a 2002 comedy series featuring Eugene Levy, Seth Green and Sarah Silverman. It's a sitcom based around the production of a kids' TV show in a world where puppets are real. It's like an adult behind-the-scenes Muppet and has a lot of leg room for some great plots.
Okay, one more hand, please.
All right, I got a good one. A puppet, a Jew, and a one-legged priest walk into a gay bar.
I think the show's great, and it's a shame that it only got one series, but I would definitely recommend watching it online.
Dog is, or at least he was. Look what he did to my back.
What is that?
He attacked me.
You must have been taunting him.
Oh, you should be a rape counselor.
The war in Syria has been one of the bloodiest conflicts in recent history. A collection of photographs shows buildings and landmarks as they are now and before the war. It's sometimes easy to think of people taking a set side and fighting it out, but most people in any conflict are just trying to get on with their lives, and these pictures help to see what life was once like and what it has become for millions. My website of the week is Cryptaris Mission. This is an aptitude test from the US Army where you're required to solve problems and make calculations to show you have the brains to be a top soldier. Only around 5% of the population can complete the tests to a reasonable standard, and some of them are pretty hard, but it's also a much more interesting way of presenting what's basically a maths and logic test. Well, the Democrats and Republicans have chosen their official nominations for president, Hilary Clinton and Donald Trump. Fortunately, the most powerful nation on the planet conducts its politics in civil, restrained, formal... Oh no, wait, sorry, that's a script for Finland. So wait 1 moment. Oh, here we go. Sorry, the USA conducts its politics like a chimp on steroids. This week has seen the end of the national conventions for both parties, so let's have a look at a couple of the key moments. Hillary Clinton won the Democratic delegate count by 60% to 40% in a field of 2 candidates. There was an instant divide between Clinton and Sanders supporters, with some speakers getting tired of it, like Sarah Silverman, who said,
The Bernie, can I just say, to the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous.
Hillary Clinton made a passionate speech to the country, so passionate that Bill Clinton couldn't stop from falling asleep. I know the campaign trail is exhausting, but I suppose being awake for the candidate's speech should be a priority. But these were nothing compared to the nail gun explosion in a nursery, which was the leaking of around 20,000 emails from the Democratic Committee. I mean, Jesus, you wouldn't trust Clinton or a Democrat with your Netflix password, and Hillary really might want to change her email password from Hillary1234. The email suggested that top Democratic officials had strategized to help the Clinton campaign over Sanders. These officials are meant to remain neutral. The email leak seems to reveal a great deal of work to sabotage the Sanders campaign, such as from the chief financial officer of the Democratic Party, who sent an email to multiple colleagues asking whether Sanders' religious beliefs could be used against him in the southern states. Not terribly neutral. This scandal resulted in the resignation of the chair of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who also was booed off stage at the beginning of the week. When the top official of your party is having to resign during the week of the convention, that's not the best injection to a campaign.
All right, everybody now, settle down. Everybody settle down, please.
Donald Trump won the Republican delegate count by 63% to 37% in a field of 4 major candidates. Trump didn't escape a beating either at his convention. One of the first actions by anti-Trump delegates from 9 states was to mount a petition which would allow delegates to vote with their conscience, and not according to the votes cast by their electorate, in other words, ignoring the votes of the people. This motion was dismissed due to a lack of delegates, but raised some resentment and resulted in Ted Cruz being booed when he stated that he hoped people would vote your conscience. This was taken as a non-endorsement of Donald Trump at the convention.
If you love our country and love your children as much as I know that you do, stand and speak and vote your conscience. Vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution.
The speech Melania Trump made to the convention seemed to have some themes lifted from a previous Michelle Obama speech. There's a couple of similarities, but I'd say they're different enough personally. Either way, the speeches don't mean anything, as she just needed to get up there and say she wasn't voting for Hillary Clinton, which who knows she might be. For Trump's acceptance speech, he walked into a stadium full of cheering Republicans to the music from Air Force One, and that's not a joke. The design of the set was harsh, and two clear bodyguards in the shadows either side of him set a very authoritarian tone. It would have looked good as the set for the President of Earth in Starship Troopers or something. He then continued to instill outright fear in those who were already nervous about him.
USA, USA, USA. We cannot afford to be so politically correct anymore. As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me. And we'll begin with safety at home, which means safe neighborhoods, secure borders, and protection from terrorism. There can be no prosperity without law and order.
Trump is the most vain presidential candidate there has ever been, and he's run a Hollywood-style celebrity campaign with a tiny budget all the way to one step away from the presidency. And this speech didn't do anything except entrench him with his base supporters who would have voted for him anyway. Both parties are going into the final election cycle bruised, and the national television debates may well be the deciding factor for the entire election. But I'm also betting the best dirt is being held on each candidate like the smallpox virus in a lab, waiting for the right time to cause the most damage. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more.